Guys, for today's video I have a little change of scenery. I just wanted to change things up a little bit, so I decided to just sit down on my actual vanity and start filming while I do my makeup. I do have quite a few new items that I've pulled out for today's video and for this look that I have created. With that is also included a few new brands that I am just, kind of testing the waters on to see what they're all about. The brands do include Jones Road as well as Vive Beauty, and I do have a new eyeshadow palette from Charlotte Tilbury, which is the Rose Fire palette. That little quad is such a gem. Let's go ahead and do our makeup. All right, so let's start off with priming the face. Today I'm going to use my Sisley Double Tensor Primer. Absolutely love this guy. You guys, I know you've heard me talk about it several times. For my foundation today, I'm using this new foundation from Kjaer Weis. I do not know if I'm pronouncing that right. So I'm going to apply it with a brush today. And so far, I have only used this once. I only wore it for maybe about 5 hours. I thought it was really nice. I mean, I definitely have to give it a better chance and really test it out. But for the time that I did wear it, I thought it was really, really pretty. Now, I will say that the first time that I put this on, I used a beauty blender. And so I thought maybe that was the reason why I was constantly going in to pick up some more, but I think it doesn't matter. Today I'm using a brush and I'm finding that I'm having the same issue here. The packaging of this foundation is so gorgeous, and I do plan on talking about this a lot more in the future, because I do have a lot of products from Kjaer Weis that I am looking forward to sharing with you guys. So a video on the brand will be coming at you at some point. I don't want to keep layering because, in all honesty, it's just such a thin formula that it's really hard to build up past a medium coverage. So I'm going to leave it alone because otherwise I'm just going to pile on for absolutely no reason. And on my hand here, I'm going to use one of the concealers I'm going to apply under my eyes today. This is the Dior Skin Correct, but I just grabbed here a little bit so that, I guess I'll use the same brush here. I can just apply this concealer where I need it. By the way, the shade I have is 3N. It's a little bit dark, but I find that it works really well for me though. Okay, so now let me go ahead and conceal these dark circles I got going on. Now I'm using, again, the Dior concealer, but I also want to mix in some of my YSL Touche Éclat concealer. This one is the Touche Éclat High Cover Radiant Concealer. So I picked up 3 during the Sephora sale, and this one's kind of light. I have mixed it with the darker YSL concealer that I have, but I want to test it out with this Dior one just to see how these formulas work together. One's a little bit too dark, the other one's a little bit too light, so mixing them, it might give me like that perfect tone that I need for this area here. I actually pulled out a different brush for my under eyes, but I already started going in with this one, so we'll make this work, I guess. To set the under eyes, I'm just going to use a little bit of my Chanel powder. This is the original. I really like this because it does such a great job at setting the areas I like to set without making it look too dry. Of course, it does also depend on how much you apply, so just don't over apply. And I just really, really love how my skin looks while using this. However, I will say that other loose powders do a better job at keeping my oils at bay, but I still really, really enjoy this one. Now, the next product I'm going to use is a bronzer. I typically like to start off with highlight, but instead I'm going to go in with my Chantecaille Radiance Gel Bronzer. I finally understand the hype. Like, I get it. For those that have been using this for a while, I completely understand why you've been obsessing over this. It is so good. Just watch and see. Just watch and see real quick. So I actually ended up applying quite a bit on my hand there. You see how it's just runny. It is very liquidy. It is a very, very thin formula, so it gives a beautiful finish, but with the pigment. So I like to kind of just spread it first. And then I'll go in and really blend. But it almost like blends itself. Like you don't really have to sit here and blend and blend and blend. Now I did powder a little bit. It was a very light powder, so I didn't really go out to these areas here. But I find that even when I do powder my whole face, I don't see that it causes an issue at all. So it's just been so good. It just instantly adds this nice warmthness to the skin, but it's just the perfect amount. Obviously, if you want a little bit more, you can layer it. I would say that a product like this, if you do want a little bit more intensity on the bronzer, layering will be best than just right off the bat applying too much at once, because what you're going to be doing is just spreading out too much of the product. And because it is such a thin consistency, if you apply it first, you don't necessarily even have to wait around for it to dry on you. Just apply it, blend it in, and then just go in with another layer. Then it'll start to build up on that pigment. All right, so for highlight, I have some new products from a new line, and I haven't tried any of these products that I am going to show in today's video. Actually, I think I'm going to show everything that I did pick up from this new makeup line. So I don't really have much to say about these products right now. We're just going to use them, see how they work. The brand that I am talking about is Vive. Here is the highlighter. This one's called Holy Chic. Here's like a finger swatch. I'm not sure, I had already placed some on my hand here, but I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. This shade looks like it might be a little bit too dark for me, but I'm not 100% sure, so we will see. So I'm wondering, because of the shade, if I should go in with a fluffier brush to just give me a nice glow and not such a concentrated pigment. But you know what, let's try it out and see if maybe it's not too dark for me. So I'm gonna use my Wayne Goss number 2 brush here and just go ahead and apply some and see where we're at. Okay, that's not too bad. It's a little bit too golden for my liking, but sometimes I just need to finish doing all of my makeup to really gauge a little bit better on how, like on specific products. So I'll just continue using this brush. And if it does happen where I do feel like it's too dark, I think I can get away with it by using a bigger, just fluffier brush. So I'm not too concerned that I'll never be able to use this. I'll just have to be kind of like specific and careful as to how I use it. I applied way too much here on my nose. Let's go back to my foundation brush and just calm that down a little. Oh, that had bronzer. I was like, why does my nose look dark? Ugh. Right. Jeez. Okay, that's fine. It's all right. I ain't going nowhere. Okay, I think I have faith for this. I do. I like the type of glow that I'm getting with it. I will say though, no, it doesn't. For some reason, I was kind of getting the feel that it probably has some glitter. If anything, it has like these little micro specks of shimmer that are golden, but it's not very noticeable on the skin. So as long as it's not, I'm all good. I am all good. I will accept a highlighter as long as I don't end up with glitter on my face. As of right now, I can't tell that that is the case. So I think so far we're good. All right, so this next product I have been using, I've been testing it out. This is also a new brand. And I had actually posted a picture of the products that I did buy on my Instagram stories. And I've been testing out a few products, some more than others, and this is one of the products that I've been testing out the most, and it is from the brand Jones Road. So this here is called the Miracle Balm. The shade I picked up is Tawny. So this is a blush, but obviously in the consistency of a balm, which although I was very skeptical on, I still really wanted to try it for myself. If you guys do not know, or if you have not heard about this new brand, it is a new brand from Bobbi Brown. So Bobbi Brown, the makeup artist. I'm not sure how many years ago she sold her company, so Bobbi Brown is no longer her little baby. She moved on from that, and she has recently developed this new line. So I was very interested and very curious on this. I'm a huge fan of Bobbi Brown. It's funny because I redid like this whole wall. I mean, not the whole wall, but like a little piece of my wall here, and I have her books. I thought you guys were going to be able to see my little setup with this angle, and the moment I sat down I was like, oh, you can't see anything I put up. So anyway, I have been a huge fan of Bobbi Brown. I just admire her for many reasons. Honestly, I can sit here and just talk about Bobbi Brown for a while, but that's not what we're here for today. So this balm here, I've been testing it out for quite some time. So I think I'm gonna do my finger on one side, and then I'll go in with my brush and apply it on the other side. Now, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, straight off the bat, I am not a fan of this product. I don't think it does anything where it's worthwhile having. I mean, look, first of all, Tawny, I believe, was the darkest shade available. They have maybe about 4 or 5 shades. Pretty sure this was the darkest, if not second to the darkest. And you can barely see any color on my cheek. So that right there is one layer. You can see a little shadow there, but it's nothing that looks, in my opinion, it just doesn't look any like special in any which way whatsoever. So there's that. Now let me go ahead and using my same, actually I shouldn't use the same brush. Okay, I'm gonna use this brush because it's clean. This is my BK Beauty 106, and I'm going to dip straight in here, because this I haven't tried. And then I'm just going to go ahead and apply it almost as I would blush, but just in a stippling motion instead of a like buffing motion, because it is truly a balmy consistency. So just think of a balm, and that is how this feels. So actually that gave me a lot more pigment than using it with my fingers. So okay, that I had not tried before. So based off of this little experiment, I do like it more with the brush, but it's still not a product that I like anyway. The color is okay. I don't think it's like the best shade for my skin tone. Just some products work better with certain undertones even. So although I don't feel like this shade does anything for me, I can see why other people with a lighter skin tone or a different undertone than mine may be able to get away with this a lot better. Now, I'm still not sure if I do want to do a full brand review on Jones Road. I just really haven't made up my mind yet. So I wanted to let you guys know on the products that I have tested out what I think about them so far. Like I was saying, I'm not the biggest fan of this. I feel like if I want to apply enough to truly get the color of what this blush should be, I need 2 layers. So I'll go ahead and apply a little bit more, because even on the side where I used the brush, you can see the color a little bit better than on the right side where I used my finger. I'm not sure how well you guys can tell. Sorry, I mean, I have the light here, but it's not the best of lights. It's definitely not for filming. So I do apologize for that, but take my word for it, there isn't much there. So I'll go ahead and apply a little bit more, and then this is where you're going to start saying, okay, there's the color. I see it. Doesn't look that bad. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad until I touch my face. So if I were to go like this, there is, and I'm not sure how well you guys will be able to even see this, there is like a fingerprint right there. So let me blend this a little bit, because then I'll forget and I'll walk around like that. So it's just, it's not a It's not a product that I feel is reliable. I just don't agree with this. I don't like the formula. For me, someone that actually has a lot of texture, my skin does not look healthy, and that's what I thought I was gonna get out of this. But really using products like my Dew Drops from M Cosmetics, those will make my cheeks look nice and healthy, give me a really nice glow, kind of get a little bit of that dewy look, but just like the perfect amount, whereas this just looks like I have something thick on that's emphasizing my texture, and I'm just not a fan of it. I know I touched a little bit on the scent. The scent is so bad. I can't think of what it smells like. So I'm sorry, I don't have an example of what the scent is like. I'm really bad at describing scents, but I'm not a fan at all. So that is that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes. I'm gonna use my NARS Tinted Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. And I usually just blend this in with my finger. So now for my eyeshadow, I pulled out this little palette that I have not shown on my channel yet, but I'm so excited to show you guys because I have been really, really loving it. It is one of the new palettes from Charlotte Tilbury. She has been releasing so much lately, so let me be specific and let you guys know which quad this is. This is the Fire Rose Luxury Palette. Mine came broken, so it's okay. I was able to salvage it, no problem there. This palette is just gorgeous for all the reasons we need an eyeshadow palette to be gorgeous for. The formula is phenomenal. The shades in there are phenomenal. There's actual versatility in this palette. Granted, we're talking about a quad. A lot of the times I think a lot of us, kind of go through that when it comes to smaller palettes, that we can't do different looks with it, or everything kind of just ends up looking just about the same. And it really just depends on how exactly you're using the palettes. I do find that you can create multiple different looks using this. Of course, we are limited, but it's nice that it's not always super noticeable that you're using the same palette over and over and over again. So let me show you guys real quickly what this little mighty palette can do. Now I'm gonna use a fluffy brush. I don't have any fancy brushes here right now because most of them are dirty. I keep talking about how dirty my brushes are, but I sure am not cleaning any of them. I'm gonna start off with this shade here and a fluffy brush, and this is going to go above my crease. Now with a smaller brush, I picked up that same shade and I'm gonna apply this on the bottom lash line. Nothing precise. Okay, now I'm going to dip into this shade here, and this is going to go into the crease on the end in the outer portion of the lid. Now this shade here builds up so beautifully. I will add another layer over top this just so that you guys can see how beautiful it layers. Now this shade here is the only matte. We have two like metallics and then that one. It's like a satin, but it's more, I would say that bronzy shade that we used first is probably between a satin and a metallic type of formula. So I'll add more here. I went in pretty deep with that matte shade, so oh, I think that looks really nice. I hadn't gone in that deep. So now with my finger, I'm gonna go into this shade here. So it's like the more pinky of the two more metallic shades. And I'm gonna add this on the lids. And then if I can with my finger, I'm trying to get into the inner corner here, like into the tear duct area. Look at how intense that is. So intense, so beautiful. And just blend out the edges here. Okay, so this is how that looks. I think it looks so beautiful, but if you want to take this up a notch just a little bit, we can go into this shade right here. So I am going to go ahead and use this, and I'm just going to very lightly pick it up with my finger and then just apply it like in the center. Because what this eyeshadow does, it adds that sparkle. Now, if you pick up a thicker amount, so if you just go in with your finger and just dig in just a little bit more, you don't really need a lot of force with these. Be careful, they're very, very soft. You can of course use this eyeshadow as a lid shade, and it'll look a lot more opaque if you use your finger. All right, so I do want to use this palette also from Vive. I'm just going to incorporate a few of these eyeshadows into today's look. This is how the palette looks. I think it's such a beautiful color story. It is nothing different than what we've seen before. These tones really appeal to me, they speak to me, and I was very curious to see how this palette and this formula performs. So let's just use a few of these shades. I think I'm going to go into this shade here first. This one's called Glimmer. And I really just want to add this in the inner corner because I think I want to line it up a little bit more. Why not? And then with that same brush, I'm going to go into So Shy right here. This brush still has a little bit of that previous shade, so I'm pretty much mixing the two. Just a little bit, just really applying this to the brow bone. So for the bottom lash line, I'm going to go into this shade here called Delicious. I'm just going to apply this on the outer portion of the bottom lash line. That's really nice. I love me a good brown, like a good rich brown eyeshadow. And then this one, it's not a deep brown, but it's still a rich, like almost a milky brown type of shade. So pretty. Okay, so I think I've deepened this up as much as I would like. This shade here called Good Night. Now this is not a black eyeshadow, it is a navy blue. And when I swatched this last night, I was like, oh, that is a nice blue shadow. So I'm using a flat definer brush and I'm going to line my lash line with this shade. I will say too, I do not like the scent that I'm getting from this palette. I think I'm gonna have to leave it open for a while. I'm pretty sure though the scent does not have to do with the actual eyeshadows. It's more than likely the glue. Okay, that's where I'm at with those eyeshadows. I didn't really give it a good chance to really test out anything from this palette, so I just wanted to use it just to go a little bit extra with today's look. Really, and really I just wanted to start using the palette as well, but I definitely have to use it some more and actually dedicate probably full eye look to that palette before I can, at least once, before I can formulate a better opinion on it. So for right now, not too bad. Very happy with the eye look so far. So let's go ahead and finish it up. Now I do have an eyeliner from from Jones Road. This is the Best Pencil, it's what it's called, in the shade Black. I have other pencil liners that do a much better job at applying and blending than this does, but with that being said, this isn't the worst. For the waterline, it's okay. Honestly, this is a product that I can totally just do without. So I'm gonna go ahead and just apply a little bit into the waterline. Onto mascara so we can finish off with the eyes. This is a mascara also from Jones Road, and I've seen other people use this and it looks so good on them, but for me, what's going on? I'm a little bit disappointed in this brand, guys, let me tell you. I don't hate it. Like this mascara, I don't hate it, but I find like it's a little bit dry. Like the formula is a little bit dry. I almost feel like I've had it for way longer than I should. It coats my lashes nicely, but it just doesn't do anything special for them. Now I have seen other people use this mascara and oh my gosh, their lashes look so nice. But I don't know. See, it doesn't look bad. I had curled my lashes before I started filming, so it didn't add this curl. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. It doesn't look bad actually. Maybe I need to keep playing with that mascara a little bit more. Alright, and then finally, the last thing before we're done with today's video are lips. So I do have a lipstick again from Vive Cosmetics or Vive Beauty. Sorry, I do not know. These lipsticks are called the Modern Matte Lipsticks, and I got the shade Power Suits. I love the shade of this lipstick. The formula feels really nice. It's got a nice scent. Is it like a little vanilla scent maybe? I don't know. But it's nice. It's very, very light, so don't get discouraged. Very nice, comfortable matte formula. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, the change of scenery. I had a good time. It was just very comfortable for me to just sit down and apply some makeup. I'm very, very happy with the outcome. I wasn't liking how my skin was looking, but see, now I kind of like it. Just unfortunately, I don't like how it feels. So, ugh. It's like, ugh. I have to clean my hands. So yeah, so that balm is probably the one thing that I would say for sure steer clear of. Everything else is just really based off of preference. I do owe you guys an update on a lot of these products, but if you have any questions, always feel free to ask down below or reach out to me via Instagram. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.